What's up, guys? Doing something new, exciting, and different. We're doing throwback reviews. So for our first one, I picked it naturally, go figure. Jurassic Park. Came out June 11th, 1993. We're gonna watch the movies weekly as we do them. That way we know if it's held up to the test of time, if it's still as good as it was when we first saw it. I saw this when I was like 5 years old in theaters. My dad took me. Probably one of the only saving graces my dad really ever did for me. The movie was so impactful. Loved it. Now that I've seen a ton of movies, and with the number 4 coming out last year, I gotta say, the movie does in fact hold up. The special effects, the cinematography, absolutely amazing. When that T-Rex busts out of the pen and does his mighty roar, you're like, is that CG or robotic? Because I know they're doing some CG and they do have some robotic, but they combined them so well. I mean, obviously some scenes you can tell were CG, but when they do that combined thing, like spoiler here, when the T-Rex busts through the log, CG. All that is CG, which makes me mad when I watch movies now, because it's like 1993 set a bar when they had minimal technology to work with. So why is it when I'm watching movies now I can't get that same level of realism?
This is the only movie where I actually read the book first. I know that's crazy. As a young kid, I was still actually reading at that point in time, you know, things that aren't comic books, which I read now. I read the book, saw the movie, and it's funny looking back because the movie is nothing like the book, but it didn't bother me. I still enjoyed the movie for what it was. I enjoyed the family-friendly concepts. I enjoyed the characters as they were presented, especially Hammond, which is the biggest difference from the book. He is absolutely evil in the book, and he's just this lovable guy trying to do this wonderful thing in the movie. I don't know if that shows how adults look at movies differently than children, because I have a feeling that if I would have read that book and saw that movie as an adult, I probably would have been a little more critical about the fact that they changed pretty much everything.
Well, let me just say, first of all, the premise is truly a classic premise. It expands on the original themes that Michael Crichton first brought up in the classic movie Westworld. Taken to the next level, dinosaurs come back to life. Super awesome premise. John Williams' score, super memorable. Everyone knows the Jurassic Park theme. Classic visual moments. We've got the cow being lowered down into the cage of raptors. We have the goat tied up at the T-Rex haddock. We have the raptors breathing heavily onto the glass of the kitchen. You really can't forget images like that. The glass of water rippling with the thunderous footsteps of the T-Rex. Those images still hold up to this day.
Many people don't know this, but with Jurassic Park, there was only 15 minutes of dinosaurs in the entire 2-hour and 6-minute movie. 9 of those minutes is actual Stan Winston animatronics, and the other 6 is CGI. Storytelling, absolutely awesome. Some little plot holes here and there when you're kind of watching, you're kind of like, okay, you know, I see what they're doing there. The whole thing like with the computers, it's kind of like outdated. You kind of like laugh at it, how they're so old, but you can still buy into it. The whole idea of this grandpa-esque figure had a dream, reached for the stars, met those stars, unleashed the dream, but then the big question is, you know nothing of what you've done. You know, these things are extinct animals. They can give two shits about what century they're in or whatever it is that they're doing, and that's where your plot comes in. Spielberg does great work. I don't think the man's ever really made a bad movie. The dude just knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants and he makes it.
I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid, but it still has extremely powerful scenes. When you and the characters alike first see the dinosaurs for the first time, that is a powerful scene. It is shot wonderfully. Still, even knowing what's going to happen, I still felt it. I still felt an emotional impact of that scene, which is amazing. It speaks of the acting in the movie, it speaks of the way it's filmed and the way it's written, and especially of the music, because the music has a big portion of that emotional impact of that scene. Watching the movie again, although I enjoyed it quite a bit, I did pick some things out that I kind of said, I wonder why that didn't bother me the first time I saw the movie. What business would have one guy control all of the electronics in a park? That doesn't happen, like, ever. You would have at least a second person involved so that if something happens to one person, they get sick or they die, you're not completely screwed.
Now we come to the downside. We had super annoying characters too, namely the children. Pretty much any scene with the kids in it, super annoying scene. Then you layer on top computer technology for the movie. You have a child saying, oh, this is Unix. I know Unix. I'm like, that's some kind of animated wireframe animation. That's definitely not Unix. It's annoyed me back then. It annoys me now. The kids annoyed me back then. They still annoyed me now. Nothing has changed with that. Dr. Ellie Sadler, she kind of is a pretty good character, but then she's also like, let's have kids. Kids are cool. And I'm like, not these kids. They're super annoying. So this is a really bad example. I don't like you anymore. Now you're an annoying character. Really, the worst part of the movie is actually the first 10 minutes. the opening sequence. Completely unnecessary, tells us very little that we don't already actually know. Matches not at all to the rest of the movie, which is filmed so beautifully.
So they're all complaining about the kids, right? I generalize, I'm sorry. You kind of need the kids if you're gonna target specific people. I get they're annoying. I know I didn't mention anything about the book. In the book, the kids were actually a little bit cooler. Still kind of obnoxious because nobody wanted them there, like at all, even the lawyer guy, which by the way does not die in the book. He's one of the people that makes it to the end. Tim was the oldest one, Lex was the young one in the book. In the movie, they flipped it around. Yeah, the book, if you get a chance to read the book, so many differences. It's almost kind of like the book is like its own thing, and this movie just happens to have the same title as the book. But they're both good. I recommend the book, I recommend the movie.
So I find myself watching this movie with kind of a childlike wonder, where I see these things, but they don't take away from the whole picture. And I wonder if that's the nostalgia I have for the movie. That I'm looking at this movie differently than I do modern day movies, where I'm a little more critical of what I consider to be plot holes. Overall, it was a lot of fun. Not all the acting is top notch. Some of the reactions that are done are actually kind of hilarious, but overall the acting is really done. I liked Hammond. I feel Richard Attenborough did an amazing job in that part. You feel for him. You feel that the Hammond they created in this movie really wants to do good and just wants to bring this wonderful idea to the world.
So overall, a classic movie, classic moments, really, really good, with some super annoying characters, super annoying unnecessary scenes. So overall, it's an 8 out of 10.
I enjoy the ride of this movie. Even watching it now as an almost 40-year-old, the idea still makes me smile that they could recreate dinosaurs and you can go to some theme park to see them. Overall, this movie is still a ton of fun. And if you are someone that saw the new Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and hasn't seen the original, you need to go back and watch the original. Because the original is going to make you realize exactly how bad Jurassic World is.
Haters. You know how you said they had one guy? Jurassic World, they had a whole room of guys.
Yeah.
So,
but they still left the stupid balls unlocked so the kids can get out and water the park. No, they didn't learn anything in the Jurassic World. I actually give Jurassic Park, for what it is, a 10 out of 10. I know that sounds weird because I just bashed on some of the plot holes in the movie, but I feel entertainment value and that childlike wonder you feel when you watch this movie, even as an adult.
So for me, Jurassic Park still holds up. For me, it's still a 10 out of 10. It's one of my absolute favorite movies, so I'm really glad I get to share some thoughts and opinions on that. So if you do own Jurassic Park, good for you. If you haven't even seen the movie, because there are people that have not seen it, I recommend it. Go see it. Pick it up, Blu-ray, DVD, whatever, VHS, if that's all you've got. Because I have all of them on all the mediums you could think of. One of my buddies from work even bought it for me on Laserdisc. Have you seen these things? They're like this big. So if there's any type of old movie that you'd like us to review, preferably something before 2000, suggestions from you guys. What would you like us to throwback review, to give thoughts and opinions, feelings, if it holds up, if it doesn't, if maybe when it came out that was the time to see it and now it's just like meh. Go on ahead and shoot that down in the comment section below. Go on ahead and like this video, favorite it, subscribe to this channel, please do so, because we have a lot of stuff coming this year. We're doing so many things and we really want the support and take you guys with us on this journey. Remember guys, you heard it here at The Source.